So we posted the poll the other day. 814 of you voted on the second Awakening tier list. This is significantly more than the Nat 4 tier list that we did. So let's get it started. We're going to, I didn't do any of this yet. We'll go element by element and we'll just in between. So we tabulated all the results from the fire units. 2 of them are already in triple S tier. I'm curious to see because I haven't even seen the results yet. So we're seeing this both at the same time. I'm curious to see if there's more Second Awakens in triple S tier than there is Nat 4s. I feel like this is, I don't know, triple S? I feel like maybe double S is fair. You have the 2 units that are really good in dungeons for the continuous damage teams together in S. I feel like that's kind of fair. I would love to use her so much, and I never wind up actually using her. I think that this is one actually you might be, if it was just me, I would maybe do that, or maybe do... this one is better than you guys realize. The Fire Howl is better than you guys realize. That's just a personal preference. Also, I think Rebecca is... she's kind of like a budget Annabelle. It's not bad. I would love to use this more. This one's pretty useful. He's got an AoE provoke. He does immunity. He does defense buff. He does defense break with skill 2. Is not a bad unit. I think maybe C tier is a little bit harsh, but I would love to use this Fire Werewolf. I hope that they do something with the Fire Werewolf to make him a little bit more usable. I don't think it's going to take really much. He's just a fire bruiser tank that heals himself and also heals double the amount of heal that other things do. But yeah, this is the fire unit so far, so let's tabulate. I think the water ones are next. Now we're at the water units, and this is going to be controversial because I personally disagree with half of the placements on here already. There are some units that you guys are not given enough credit to. Again, this is based on your votes. This is 814 people voted, and this is the average of all of these placements for these things. But personally, I think Lulu is a little bit too high. Triple S, I don't think that Lulu is triple S. I mean, this guy you could use in a lot of places. Again, triple S on a lot of these things seems like it's a bit high. They're not amazing in everything. I mean, this guy's not this one. This guy's kind of, you could argue that he is kind of amazing in everything, but as much as it's a meta thing that you kind of need to build in Summoner's War in 2023 and even 2022 and 2021 or whatever, I don't know that this is necessarily, these are all triple S units per se. I mean, this is fair enough. These are solid units. This one, not really too strong. I don't know if you guys know, he does revenges and he comes back from the dead. If you're not, and he's very tanky as well. This is probably better than many of you realize. I'm not saying he's crazy like S tier, triple S tier, double S tier, whatever. This Water Griffin, strongly disagree. I strongly disagree with your placement on this list. I think that he is at least S tier. I feel very strongly about that he is at least S tier. This one, I know I built 20 of her. She's not useful enough to have anyone build 20 of her at any point aside from the gimmick that I was doing. This one is also better than you guys realize. This is pretty solid. The multi-hits get a little bit wacky. She can do quite a lot of damage in the Fire Rift Beast. In some of the, not just the Fire one, but in Rift Beast, she has a lot of value. I would put her at A. I would put this at least at S. I would put this maybe at B. But yeah, that's my opinion is, and I would put this like maybe this one down here, maybe this one down here. That's my opinion though. I might even put this down. I don't know, man. Riley kind of took over. And she also got a little bit of a nerf to skill too. We're on to the wind ones. I still disagree with some of the placements here, though. I see that there's nothing in wind that is either triple S or double S. We do have the Royd over here at S tier. I think he's a solid unit. This one, I mean, really, are we, aside from early game people using this for giants, is this a thing that people, well, also Rift Beast, a couple of Rift Beasts like the Ice Beast, but well, you could use her for more than just the Ice Beast, but ST, I would put her lower than that. I think Bernard is fine here. I think Royd is fine here. I would put her personally maybe A tier. I think that's fair. Also, I think that Shannon and, I mean, you got Shannon, these are, I feel like these should be at the same tier, right? Also, this one, he does defense breaks, he does strips, he's got the speed lead, he also does big damage with skill 3. He gives himself an extra turn if he kills. I think you guys are not appreciating this one enough and not appreciate. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's my fault for not showing you the glory of some of these amazing 2A units. This one is definitely pretty solid. This one's definitely, we just used him the other day. Like, I'm trying to show how good this could be. What's his face? True Whale was using him. Like, just using him at G3, just not as a gimmick or anything, like as a, hey, I'm doing YouTube videos, look at this crazy nonsense. He was actually using this. He was just using this like it's a solid pick. It's a strong pick. In G3, he was using it with Nora. So this is a unit that you guys don't give enough credit to. Some of these are kind of not that exciting. I think she's maybe a little bit better than this. Personally, this one is also, he increases cooldowns. He's got very high base speed, so you could run him on Swift and try to maybe catch your opponent off will runes. But I think some of these other ones, we have our first D tier unit. I kind of feel like some of these other ones might, like this one is a D tier unit. Like, how is he at not D tier is very curious to me. I feel like most of it is okay. There's just a couple that I disagree with. Next up, we have LD's light units first, and our first triple S tier LD is Sheer, which is no surprise, I don't think. I don't have any disagreements with this. He's great for arena offense. He's great for RTA, especially even RTA regular season when you're trying to contest turn 1. You bring a speed lead, and a Sheer on Swift with 115 base speed is ridiculous. You can stick him into dungeons. He's good for siege content. He's great for so many different things. Dimension Hole. Then we have no other triple S tiers for light anyway. We have no double S. There's only one unit sitting here at double S. Then we have 3 here in S tier. Darian. I never use Darian. I know people like him. I'm not gonna argue with the S tier here. Light Griffin is fantastic. Light Griffin can carry. Light Griffin is almost for a unit that is not that easy to get. Like, you actually have to summon him. There's no secret dungeon for Light Griffin or anything. He is a necessary unit for some dungeons. He carries hard. He's not necessary in Necropolis. You could do plenty of teams without him, but he's a fantastic unit for Necropolis. I'm talking more about the Dimension Hole. Light Griffin is pretty ridiculous in some of those teams, and I can't imagine. You can do things without him. It's just gonna be harder. He is just such a valuable unit in the Dimension Hole. And for him to not be freely available for everyone is kind of sad. I wish that they would do a secret dungeon for like a Sheer too. I wish they would do a secret dungeon for some of these units because they're kind of meta units that you kind of need. I appreciate Bella being here. 108 speed. Bella does a lot. Defense break skill 1. Also does attack gauge pushback. I think it does also after the Second Awakening does a increase attack gauge for itself as well. Second skill strips everything. Second skill is actually the same as the wind one, and then does skill 3 is heal and attack gauge boost. Fantastic unit all around. Is just a great unit to have in any team. You could stick it in a lot of places and it's fine. We have Linda at A tier. I want to put her higher, but the damage issue is like the damage and the base speed is what's keeping her from being S tier or double S, because she does quite a lot. If she had a higher damage multiplier or better speed, I think that would definitely put her in a higher tier. But I think those are the things that are holding her back. This is a great bruiser unit. This Martial Cat, I see that you guys voted it basically the same spot as the Fire one. This is very similar to Lulu. I will agree that Lulu's better. I don't think there should be this big of a difference between them. I think maybe 1 or 2, but I think that's a little... I also don't think Lulu should be this high. I think this is a fair spot for this. This is heals and, oh my goodness, and ignore defense. So I think that's nice here. We have the Light Grim Reaper at B tier. We have these units are not... Oh, this is a wind one. This is the light one. Right, I'm not going to disagree with... I mean, you could use her. It's just, yeah, I'm not. Oh, right. We're looking at, why do I keep going? Because they look the same. Tell me they don't look the same. They look the same. And then the Light Pixie. She has her, you can put her into things and sometimes she can go crazy, but like for Labyrinth, but yeah, it's not I'm really not going to argue too much with these light units. I think they're at a fair spot. And last but definitely not least, we have the dark units, and another triple S tier unit is Crow, mostly for dungeons, PvE content. He's wonderful in the Rift Beast. He's like really triple S tier in the Rift Beast. He's really ridiculously good in the Rift Beast, better than most Nat 5s. In Rift Beast. Also, some other dungeons as well. You could use him for early game. I was gonna say early game giants, even end game giants if you want to. Dimension Hole. There's just so many boss areas that Crow is fantastic for. You never see him in PvP. I think we could shove him into PvP more if we really wanted to. Maybe we shouldn't get any ideas, but you only really see him in like RTA or whatever if you're fighting against someone that's only been playing the game for like a month or two, and they're like, I'm gonna try RTA, and they start picking Beretta and Sigmaris and Crow. And maybe I shouldn't comment on the Beretta thing because I just used him last week in RTA. However, yeah, Crow, not surprised at all to be in triple S tier. You gotta say that the Inugamis have got to be one of the best families in the game for 2As. Or even in general. Look how high all of them. 3 of them in triple S tier, 1 of them in S tier, and then the other one in B tier. But I think that this is low for him. I think he should be in like A tier or S tier. And then we also have Thrain here at double S, mostly for TOA content. But TOA, Hall of Heroes. You could use him in other stuff as well. I've seen people use him in PvP also. Some Guild Siege teams with these two Grim Reapers. I don't use them. I tried it out. I'm like, this is not really a team that I'm going to be using all the time, but it is possible to use something like that. Anyway, let's move on. Regular S tier units, we have Dark Mystic Witch. I wish that these units were freely available to everyone though, because this I don't even have, like on my Asia server account, it's been an account for like 5+ years. Still don't have this unit. Still never summoned this unit. 5+ years. Still don't have it. I wish there was like secret dungeons where people could actually get, like, we're not even talking about LD5s. We're talking about LD3s. Yeah, you don't summon it unless you summon it. Then we have the Dark Vagabond, who's actually really solid in guild content. I use him all the time for guild content. A lot of time I will use Susano and Lucia and Jubel. Why was that the name that I couldn't think of? This I'm a little surprised to see. At one point she was like triple S tier, but after the Onimushas and then so many other units, there's just mostly the Onimushas. She's just you don't really see her used that much. I mean, I suppose there were also people that voted her in triple S tier still, so surprised to see that. I think at one point she definitely was a ridiculous unit that did some crazy things that was very toxic. But she's just not there. It's just S tier. It's not like we're saying it's triple S or anything like that. I think S tier maybe fair. Some people like it more than others, I suppose. And then we have Dark Werewolf. We have the Dark Howl over here, which switches this could be more. Maybe I should use this more than I do. Surprised that you put this at B tier. I kind of felt like you guys were gonna put this. What is it? Her name, Jumaline. I felt like you guys were gonna put this at like C tier or something terrible. But I think she's a decent usable unit. Yeah, I think she's a decent usable unit. She heals herself. She does big AoE damage. She crit buffs herself, which is nice if you have crappy runes. Now some of you are very excited. Wait a second. You said crappy runes. You're speaking my language now. This guy who's potentially a stun machine, he's kind of interesting. I wouldn't say that he's I'm not disagreeing with some of these placements. B tier, this is actually a pretty decent unit for early game players. It's fairly easy to build him. He is a secret dungeon unit. Yeah, he's a secret dungeon unit. And fairly easy to skill him up, and he's pretty good for like TOA and things like that for early game. I think that these ones, this Dark Pixie, C tier, this is a little rough. She does do cooldowns. She increases cooldowns on things. I think she's a pretty decent unit. I wish that I could say she is better. I like to use her sometimes. That doesn't mean she's good. I just like to use her because she was complete garbage F tier before the Second Awakening. She was one of the worst units in the entire game. Second Awakening made her usable if you felt like using her. Not anything ridiculous. I think this should be at least one tier list higher. A lot of people were actually split about the Dark Pixie, and a lot of people also didn't know what she did. This was actually a pretty solid Basically a quarter of you guys didn't know what the Dark Pixie, or didn't know how you felt about the Dark Pixie and the Dark Fairy. So that might be one of the reasons that this is not higher, because this was a pretty solid unit. They did change her, though. I don't remember what exactly they changed, but they changed her in a bounce patch. For whatever reason, they felt like this was it was important to change her. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like most of this is pretty accurate. I disagree with a few things. I think the biggest things that stick out to me are giggity. I think the biggest things that stick out to me are like these. I think should be a little bit higher at the very least. This is kind of doo-doo. Should be definitely higher for sure. This is kind of doo-doo. This, maybe C is fine for him. I think maybe this should be a little bit higher. This should be a little bit higher. This one is just crazy to see him down here. And this is fantastic for Dimension Predator. This is one of the best units for Dimension Predator. I think he's amazing. I use him all the time for Dimension Predator. And I will genuinely pick this unit because I think it's a good unit. So anyway, that's it for this one. There's the tier list. You guys didn't see. Well, yeah, you saw before. There's nothing new on DNF tier. So there it is. I'll do a little zoom out. There you go. It's a wonderful tier list. It's you guys' tier list. I didn't make this tier list. This is just all based on you guys' opinions, and I have different opinions, but for the most part, I think this is fairly accurate. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you as always in the next one.